Right, good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Moed Katan Daf Yudalid number 14. We're about to start a new parak, the last parak in Maseches Moed Katan, titled Elu Megalchin, which primarily talks about Hilchos Avelos. Not one of the happier prakim you're going to find in Shas, but you know what? You gotta learn everything. Torah tells you learn the bad with the good. And I'm excited to say that we're in the formation of a new project. Maybe the first kollel, the first chabura on YouTube. This is extraordinary breakthrough project. The first chabura we're going to have, hopefully, I'm trying to get some of the prominent Roshei kollel over here, and maybe some of the prominent Avreichim in the kollel who speak a little English, to give a 5 to 10 minute chabura on the daf, a unique chiddush. It's going to be fantastic. I was actually in the car with a Rebbitzin from one of the rabbis from Torah's Moshe, and I mentioned, she asked me what I'm doing now, and if I'm still learning in a certain yeshiva, and I said, no, I'm learning here. I give a daf yomi shir on YouTube. Obviously, she teaches in a seminary, and her husband's a rabbi in Torah's Moshe, and YouTube obviously is a foreign concept for them. They know what it is, but they don't approve of it. But she has an ayin tova, so she said, that's why Hashem created this technology to be used for things like this, for giving a daf yomi shir. And now we're going to up the ante and have a chabura, the first kollel on YouTube. This is an amazing project, an amazing breakthrough in technology, bringing the holy words of Torah, the depth of the Torah. I started out before I gave Daf Yomi Shir, if any of you were following, I did give, it was called Ian with Bentzy, where I provide my own chiddush on almost every daf in Maseches Yuma, and Shkalim also I did it. I'm also going to be part of this chabura because I made it, and I give good chidushim also. But I want to include everybody else, and I think it'll be a breakthrough project. Stay tuned. Hopefully, today I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to say a short chiddush, and tomorrow we have a special guest. His name is Rabbi Levovitz, a Rosh Kol here in the shul, and I don't know if he's descended from Baruch Ber Levovitz, but maybe he is, but he's a big rabbi, and he has what to say. So we'll see him tomorrow. Today you get me. All right, let's start the daf, start the parak. Ve'elu magalchin, the bottom of your gimel and vez. Ve'elu magalchin b'moed. The following people are allowed to shave and take a haircut on Chol HaMoed. Normally, we'll see, the Gemara explains on Yudalid, Amud Aleph, that you're normally not allowed to, if you haven't shaven or you haven't taken a haircut before Chol HaMoed, you're not allowed to do it on Chol HaMoed. Certain people, they are allowed to do it because of extenuating circumstances. Abam Medinas Hayam, someone came from overseas, and I guess forgot to take a haircut. They didn't have haircuts over there. Abam Medinas Hayam, Beis HaShivya, he comes from Medinas Hayam or Beis HaShivya, he comes from overseas, or he comes from captivity. He was taken as a captive. It's an unfortunate situation, but he was released on Chol HaMoed. Someone comes out of jail on Chol HaMoed. He didn't have a chance to shave before Ramanuda. Shehitiru lo chachamim. We're going to see what this means exactly. He was excommunicated by the chachamim for doing something wrong, and the chachamim they removed his cherem, his nidoy on the regel. V'chein mishanisha, nidoy is forbidden to wash his clothes or to get a haircut. V'chein mishanisha l'chacham v'hutar, he took a neder that he's not going to get a haircut, and he got a heter from the rabbanim. The matir is neder on Chol HaMoed, v'nazra mitzora mitumasa olin mitumaso l'tara. So the nazir mitzora, when they ascend, a nazir becomes tamei, he has to shave his head, and a mitzora also after he becomes tahor, he has to shave his head, he has to cut his hair. So if these occur when they become tahor in the middle of Chol HaMoed, he's allowed to do that. Like we said, not only are you not allowed to get a haircut on Chol Hamoed, you're also not allowed to launder your clothing on Chol Hamoed. Certain people are allowed to. Habam Dinas Hayam, again, if you come from overseas, based on Shivya, you're released from your captivity. You also miss Asur and you come out of jail. So the top of your Dalam and Aleph over here. Menuda Shetir Chachamim. Again, if you're a Menuda, you have to communicate it at the Chacham Matir your Neder, Matir your Nidoy, V'chein Mishanisha L'Chacham, V'hutar, someone who took a Neder that he's not going to wash his clothes on Chol Hamoed, and he became Mutter. Matpachas Hayadayim, Matpachas Hasaparim, Matpachas Haspag. Even though you're not allowed to launder your clothes, certain things you are. Hand towels become dirty very often. You need them clean. You're allowed to launder those during Chol Hamoed. Also, the barber's cloth. I forgot. It's a frock, smock that they put on you. The apron. I forgot the exact name for it. You're allowed to, because certain people are allowed to get haircuts on Chol Hamoed. You're allowed to launder those. From Pakas and Spag, also bath towels. You're allowed to. Hazavin v'hazavos v'anidos v'ayoldos v'chol olin mituma l'tara harei elim mutarin. All the people that azav and azava, they see emissions. A woman would see blood. A man would see a seminal emission. Anida v'ayoldos. Anida, a woman who also sees a type of blood. V'ayoldos, a woman who gives birth. V'chol olin mituma l'tara. And all these people, they have to. Right, they're going from Tumah to Tara, and their clothes become dirty because of the seminal emission or because of the blood. Harei and Mutar, and they're allowed to wash their clothes. The Sharkal Adam Asur and the rest of the people are Asur from washing their clothes on Chol Hamoed. The Gemara says, Sharkal Adam my time Asur. Why is everybody else Asur? Because it's not Anshe Mishmar, like the same reasoning we learned about Anshe Mishmar, but Anshe Maime Asur and L'Saper L'Chabis. Anshe Mishmar or Anshe Maime, these are people that Anshe Mishmar, they went to the Kohanim that go to offer the Korban Tamid Sibur, the Korban Tamid for Klal Yisrael. And Anshe Maimid are the Israelim who remain in Yerushalayim and daven for them. Asur l'sapar l'chabis, they can't, during that week that is their turn, they can't get a haircut and they can't launder their clothing. Chamishim mutarin. On Thursday, they're allowed to make cover to Shabbos and should be prepared for Shabbos. These are my time. What's the reason they can't launder their clothes or get hair? We're worried that if we allow them to do it on during their week, they're going to wait to the middle of the week to do that, and they're going to start their mishmar when they're disgusting, when they're not groomed, they have long hair and they have dirty clothes. And also over here during Chol Moed is in the middle of the regal Sukkot or Pesach. You want to come into Sukkot or Pesach looking your best. So therefore, they didn't allow you to do it in Chol Moed. So you have to get a haircut. You have to shave before Chol Moed, before the regal, and wash your clothes before the regal. So you should come into the regal in a state of cleanliness. Let's say someone lost something. He had an onus, he lost a valuable object, he lost his wallet, Erev HaRegel, and he planned on obviously laundering his clothes and getting a haircut on Erev HaRegel. Came with the onus mutter, since it was an onus and he didn't have a chance now to get a haircut, it's mutter. Or do we say that no, that it's not clear, that no one knows that the reason he's an onus is because he lost something before the Moed? People are going to think that the reason is you're allowed to do it. They're going to learn from him that you're allowed to get a haircut or to launder your clothes during Chol Hamoed. They're not going to know that he was an onus. Amar Abaye Yomru Kol Asrikin Asur and Srike Baitus Mutarit. So Amar Abaye says Yomru Kol Asrikin Asur and Srike Baitus Mutarit. This is a Gemara from the Gemara Pesachim. The Gemara says that normally you're not allowed to make shapes when there's certain prohibitions. When you make matzah, you're not allowed to make them to certain shapes. If you make them in certain shapes, they'll become chametz more easily. So we make zera. You shouldn't make these shapes into matzahs. Baitus, the house of Baitus was very careful. They knew how to make them very well and very quickly. So we never become chametz. But we still don't allow Baitus to make them into shapes because people are going to learn from Baitus to say, oh, everyone's allowed to do it. Here also, if we allow this person, Abdullah Aveda, everyone's going to learn from him. That's how biased it is. It can't be as much. If you only have one shirt, people only have one shirt, some people, They're very poor. So you're allowed to wash on Chol Moed, so you should have a fresh shirt every day. Asam Nami, Yomru Kol Striking Asur Striking by this Mutar. Why don't we say over there also this Svara? People are going to learn that it's just like he's mutter to wash his shirt. Everyone else should mutter to wash his shirt. The Gemara says, there it's different because he wears a belt. When he's washing his clothing, he has to wear some sort of towel over the rest of his body. And he wears a belt in order to hold the towel in place. When he's wearing the belt to hold the towel in place, so therefore it's evident that he's just doing it to wash his shirt. Everyone's going to know that he only has one shirt, and because he only has one shirt, so therefore they're gonna know, and it's not going to come to a mishap. It's not going to come to a misconception that you're allowed to wash your shirt during Chol Hamoed. Only him, because he only has one shirt. So the Gemara says, "I'm a Ravashi Masni." Rashi taught the following: So the question about someone who lost an Aveda, a regular person, wasn't really answered. Seemingly, maybe it's mashma from the Gemara that it was answered that you're not allowed to do it because kol srike asur and srike by this mutar, and that seems to be the svara that we go with over here. And chol kechad is only considered to be a unique case because a zura mochiach alav. So now we switch the question. That's Bayi Rav Ashim asking Bayi Reb Zeira Uman Sha'avdul Aveda Ever Regal. Uman, not a regular person, an Uman, a professional, that lost an Aveda Erev Regal. Now came on the Uman who, since maybe this guy is better, since he's an Uman, he's a professional, Mukham Milsa. It's evident that the only reason he's being able to get a haircut or wash his clothes on Chol Hamoed is because he didn't have a chance to do it. He had lost an Aveda. Odilma came to Mukham Milsa, Kihana Floteku. Or maybe it's not so evident, and therefore people will make a mistake, like the Srikim Baitis Mutarin, and they'll learn from him that you're always allowed to wash your clothes and get a haircut on Chol Hamoed. Therefore, the Gemara leaves it unresolved. We don't know the answer to this question. Here I want to say the first Chiddush of the new series, the Chabura. We'll call it the Chabura. We'll get different Chaburas every day on the daf. This is a small one, a small chiddush. I want to say over here that Rashi, we'll learn a Rashi. Rashi says, what's the difference in an Uman and a regular person? Uman sha'avdul Aveda. The Gemara says, even though someone, a regular person, lost an Aveda, that seems to be pasha, that he can't get a haircut on a Chol Hamoed. An Uman maybe is a teiku, is a suffix. Why is an Uman a teiku? So Rashi says, Uman could go in sapar, shakol boin etzel erva regel, like a barber. Everyone comes to erva regel. But roin sha'avdul Aveda. Because he's an Uman, he's a barber, everyone sees that he lost something. The anasu, any yachal is sapar atzmo, he doesn't have time to give himself a haircut. Why? Because to shave. Why? Because since he's a professional, so there's a lot of people around him. He's a public person. There's a lot of people around him, so they know that that's the reason. I want to say a different shot. Uman mochiach alav mucha kevan the uman hu mucha milsa. The explanation being that a professional, someone who's a professional, always has to be groomed, always has to look good. Some people who you sit in kollel, or you don't have really a job, or you work in your house, you don't have to look professional. But someone who's on camera every day, like me, who bears in a public appearance, his appearance, his clothes have to be clean, his clothes have to be pressed, his beard has to be taken care of, his haircut has to be taken care of, he has to look good in front of the camera, he has to have nice clothes, dress well. So he's an Uman, he's a professional, so that everyone will know that the fact that he entered the regal without a haircut or without clean clothes, obviously he lost an Aveda. Came on the Uman who muchalav, he's a professional, he always looking good. Therefore, if he's not looking good, obviously unfortunate onus happened to him. But if you're not an Uman, the Gemara says, then there's not muchach. We don't know, because it could be you don't really take care of your grooming habits in a regular way. So therefore, on a regular basis, so therefore we're less likely to say that because he was an onus that prevented him from taking care of himself for the regal. That is the Ian with Bentzy on Chaburas Bentzy on today. We'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be great. All right, the Gemara continues. Ninas Hayam, you come back from overseas. This is in Loka Rabbi Yehuda. Our Mishnah is not like Rabbi Yehuda. The son of Yehuda, Omer Abam Ninas Hayam Lo Yigaleya Nishiyatza Shelo Bereshos. Yehuda says that if you come from Ninas Hayam, you come from overseas on Chol Hamoed, you come back home, since you left without permission, you're not allowed to get a haircut. I'm a Rav Lashut Divrei Kol Aser. Everyone agrees, even the Rabbanan agree. If you go Lashut, to swim literally, you go to a vacation island, you go to Bermuda, maybe the most expensive country in the world, Bermuda. Israel's number 8. You go to have a vacation there and you come back Chol Moed, everyone agrees to Aser. You have no reason to go there and not shave. The mazonos divrei kol mutter. If you're traveling for parnasa to earn money for your family, that you come back Chol Moed, everyone agrees that's mutter. Only if you're going on a business trip in order to make extra profit. He says that it's like you're going on a luxury vacation, and the Rabbanan say it's mutter because it's like earning parnasa. Basically, I'm a Rebbe near in Divrei. The Bible says near in Divrei Rebbe Yehuda. She has shalom b'rishus. Divrei Cham she has b'rishus. The halach follows Rabbi Yehuda when he leaves without permission, and follows the Cham when he leaves with permission. My shalom b'rishus. What does it mean without permission? If you're saying he goes to a fancy island to swim, Amar Divrei Kol Aser. Everyone says it's Aser. It can't be that's machlokas. El Mazonos, so we're talking about for the basic necessities of parnasa. Amar Divrei Kol Mutter. The Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbanan don't agree by that it's mutter. El Pshita laharvicho. Must be we're talking about the case of the Bryce. It's talking about you're going for profit. Aim a seifa. What about the seifa? Near in divrei recham because yatzer b'rishus that the halacha follows the chacham when he left b'rishus with permission. My b'rishus ileim mazonos. They were talking about just for parnasa basic needs. Amar divrei kol mutter. But even Rabbi Yehuda says mutter. El larvicha must be talking about for profit. Amar near in divrei Yehuda. So if we're talking about the same thing, we just said the halacha follows Rabbi Yehuda for arvacha. The halacha follows Rabbanan for arvacha. Near in the Rabbi Yehuda the Rabbanan. So but the Gemara said Bahas. The Gemara answers Hachigamar near in the Rabbi Yehuda the Rabbanan. She also Shalom B'Rishos. Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbanan agree with Rabbi Yehuda when he left the Shalom B'Rishos to Maini Ulasher. That's talking about when he goes for a luxury vacation. They only argued about for profit. And near in the Rabbanan, Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yehuda agrees to Rabbanan. She also b'rishus. So ma'nil mazonos. If he goes from mazonos for basic needs of parnasa, Rabbi Yehuda lonech kaleim el larvicha. He only argues on them when it's for profit. Mazonos modelu. Amar Shmuel, Katan anolad b'moed. Let's say a Katan is born during the Moed and he has a lot of hair. Mutar legaleach b'moed. You're allowed to. I don't know how common this is that you have a Katan that's born on Chol Moed and he has excessive hair that you want to cut it. Also, you see from this Gemara, apparently, that you're allowed to cut a Katan's hair before 3 years old. Normally, the minhag here in most places do an upshare, and you're not allowed to cut the Katan. Katan seems like a male also. You're cutting his hair on Chol Moed when he's a Katan, when he's just born. What about the upshare? And you have to wait 3 years before you cut his hair. I don't know what's going on over here. This is the question mark from today's daf. And you see from this Gemara that there's no such thing as an upsharing. All right, Katan oled b'moed, mutar legaleach b'moed. Katan is born in the Moed. He's allowed. Shmuel says he's allowed to get a haircut on the Moed. En lechabeis asurim gadol mizeh. It's like coming out of jail, right? You can't give the haircut when in the mother's womb. So the Gemara says. So the Gemara says, "B'moed in." The Gemara's going to die. B'moed in. Shmuel said on the Moed in mikaro lo. But if he was born right before the regel, and then the regal comes, he can't get a haircut on Chol Moed. Meisa Rav Pinchas. Rav Pinchas asks, "Kol amru mutar legaleach." The Rashi says anyone who's mutar legaleach b'moed, mutar legaleach me'evlo. If there's a heter to shave your beard or to cut your hair on Chol Moed, those same people, for example, someone came out of jail, me'evlo, he's allowed also in avelos, he's allowed to cut his hair. Ha'asur legaleach b'moed. So we confer from this price of what? Ha'asur legaleach b'moed. If you're not allowed to shave on the Moed. You also can't shave when you're on avelos. V'amr Katan is be plukta. If you say that a Katan is a distinction whether he's born on Chol Moed or he's born before Chol Moed, and that if he was born before Chol Moed, he'd be usher to get a haircut on Chol Moed. Nimses havias neheges b'Katan. You're going to say just like he's usher by Moed, he's usher to get a haircut on during his avelos. So an avelos applies to a Katan. Hatanya, we know that's not true. Makar and the Katan neagmas nefesh. You only rip the clothes of a Katan who lost, I guess, a sister or a brother or a parent. Neagmas nefesh. It's not even halachically mandated. It's just that people should feel sad of what's going on. There's no halachic reason to do it. So you see, Katan doesn't apply Avelis. Amar Rav Ashi, Mikatani ha hasurin dilma yesh mehen asar v'yesh mehen mutter. We're making a diak from the Bryce. The Bryce says anyone who's mutter b'moed is mutter an Avelis. So we infer from that anyone who's asar b'moed asar doesn't. You can't make a complete inference like that. Maybe dilma yesh mehen asar v'yesh mehen mutter. Maybe the inference is that when it comes to the opposite, some of them that are asar and some of them are mutter. Meaning even though you're allowed yesh men other. A katan, for example, even though he'd be asur b'chol moed, he'd be mutter in avelus. A memar v'yitemar Rav Ashishbar, they're really masni hach. They taught the following: Amar Shmuel katan mutter l'galacham moed. Lo shanolad b'moed, lo shanolad mikar. Even if he was born before chol moed, he's allowed to get a haircut on chol moed. Amar of Pinchas, or Pinchas brings a proof to that. Afana mitanina kol yisha amru mutter l'galach moed, mutter l'galach me'evlo. We just said if you're allowed to get a haircut on Chol Moed, you're allowed to get a haircut during Avelis. In for what? If he's usher to get a haircut on Moed, if you say a Katan is usher to get a haircut, even if he was born before Chol Moed, it would come out that Avelis applies to a Katan. The Tanya, we taught otherwise. You tear the clothes of a katan and avelis ne'agmas nefesh. Not halachically mandated, just because of to make people sit. So you see a proof for it. Amar Rashi mikatani ha asrunin. Does it say? Can we infer it? Whoever is aser chol moed aser during avelis dilma yeshman aser yeshman mutter. Like we deflected the question before. Here's we could deflect the proof over here. Maybe an avel, even though he's mutter on chol moed, he's mutter to get a haircut during avelis. During Chol Moed, it would be usher to get a haircut. During Avelis, the Katan, where Avelis doesn't apply to a Katan, so it would be mutter during Avelis. While in and out, Avelusa, Ishman mutter. So the Gemara continues. Avel eno noeg Avelusa b'regal. Shenemar v'samachta b'chgecha. Avel, his Avelus, the Gemara is making a statement. The halacha is an Avel. Let's say it was an Avel, he became an Avel, someone died on Chol Moed or on the first day of Yom Tov. His Avelus, he's not knowing his Avelus on the regular. Says you have to be happy during your holidays. He Avelus to Mikarahu. If he became an Avel before Yom Tov, we're going to see that Yom Tov cuts off Avelus. Ask the Essay de Rabim, Dache Essay de Yachid. The Essay de Rabim, Samach B'Chagecha, is an essay that applies to multiple people, to all of Klal Yisrael. And he's only the personal person, he has a personal Avelus, so it pushes away the essay, the mitzvah d'oraisa is the knowing Avelus of the Yachid. The Avelus, the Hashta, became an Avel during Chol Moed, who, so ask the essay the Yachid, V'dake essay the Rabbim, the essay the Yachid, which applies immediately, because he's an Avel now, it can't push away the essay the Rabbim of his Samach L'Mechkecha. Menuda Mao She'inog Nido V'Regos. And the question now is, someone became excommunicated. He is a nidoy for whatever sin he did. The Rabbanan put him in excommunication. Does his nidoy apply during the regular nidoy? Certain things you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to get a haircut, wash your clothes. You're not allowed to greet people. Amar Rav Yosef Tashma. Let's bring a proof. Dan didn't fashion didn't makas didn't mamanis on Chol Moed. You can judge capital cases. You can judge cases of malchus, giving out lashes, didn't mamanis, and monetary disputes. If in a monetary dispute he doesn't listen to the proclamation of the court, the verdict of the court, mishamtina then we put him in excommunication. If you hold that excommunication doesn't apply during the regal, mishumas va'asi mikara asi regal dakile. If he was in nidoy before the regal, and the regal came and pushed away, hashta mishamtina le, and now we're gonna put him in nidoy. The fact that you can put him in nidoy on the regal shows that obviously the regal does not push away a nidoy that came from before the regal. Maybe this Bryce is not talking about actually bringing a verdict in these cases, in which case there would be a nidoy if you didn't listen. Maybe it's just talking about to look into the cases, the basin to analyze it, but not to issue a verdict. If you don't say that's the pshat, you're going to say that din is really they give a verdict and we kill the person on Chol Moed. The judges are going to be not observing Simchas Yom Tov. The Sanya Rabbi Kiel Omer Minayel Sanhedrin Shahargles and Nefesh. Sanhedrin judges a case and condemns someone to misa and kill someone. She'ain Tomin Kol Yom. They can't eat food that whole day. Talmud Omer Lo Sochel Adam. We learn from you don't eat on the blood when you kill somebody. So therefore, must be you can't kill somebody because that would be fasting on the regal. You're not allowed to fast. Part of Simchas Yom Tov is eating. It must be this price it's talking about. You're allowed to analyze the case. The Dayanim are allowed to analyze the case and call a Moed. Also, when it comes to Dinim Mamonis, it's talking about to analyze the case but not to issue a verdict. And therefore, there's no instance of actual nidu. Amarle, he said back to him, says Ma'ana as Dino. If you say that they're just they analyze the case, so they're ma'ana as dino, they're causing him to wait unnecessarily for a verdict. It takes too long. So whereas the asu misafru ma'ini bedine va'ayli va'akli v'shasti kula yoma v'hadar asu b'shkiyas achama v'gamrino ledine v'kathli lei. So the Gemara says, no, maybe really they look into it in the morning. Really, they do issue a verdict. And they get around not eating on Simchas Yom Tov. They eat the whole day. They analyze it in the morning. Then they're able to eat the whole day. You can't eat once you issue the verdict, once you kill the person. And then at night, right before Shkiyas Chama, you issue the verdict that he's guilty, and then you kill him. So therefore, it is talking about issuing a verdict, and therefore it is talking about possibly Mishamtin. So therefore, you see Nidoy overrides the regal. Amar Abaye Tashma. So that seems to be the proof. Amar Abaye Tashma. Menuda Sheitir Lo Chachamim. Abaye wants to bring a proof from a Mishnah. Menuda Sheitir Lo Chachamim. Abaye says, you see it. Menuda Sheitir Lo Chachamim. He's interpreting is that the Menuda, the Chum allowed him to be knowing Simchas HaRegel, meaning the Regel overrides, it pushes away the Nidoy. So Amar Abrava Mikasani Sheitiru Chachamim Shehitiru Lo Chachamim. It's not that the Rabbanan matir and nidoy a menuda from his things that he has to be noeg for his nidoy. Sheitir lacham Katan the azul paisei lebaldini maasi kamei the Rabbanan misharula. It's talking about a case where that nidoy really is noeg baregel, but if he went and he paid back his baldin, the person he owes money to, so then the Rabbanan can matir his nidoy, and then he's allowed to go shave, and he's allowed to go wash his clothes on Chol Moed. Gemara asks, Mitzora ma'osh yanik saras over regel. A Torah, the restrictions of his saras. What are the restrictions of saras? The restrictions of saras is that you have to go a chutz l'machana, and then you have to call tamei, and you can't shave your head. What about a saras? Does that apply in the regel? Amar Abaye tashma. V'nazir mitzora mitumasol tarolim mituasol tarasa. The Nazir and the Mitzora, when they become Torah and Chol Moed, then they can shave, they can get a haircut. Habi made to maso, but if he's still Tameh, no, you can see from Mishnah that Saras, the restrictions of Saras do apply during the regal. So the answer is no. Let me buy the opposite. Let me buy made to maso lo noik. For sure, when he's Tameh, it's not noik. Allah Taraso. But the Chiddush is when he becomes Torah, maybe we shouldn't allow him to cut his hair. Nigzer Jeshama Yishar Kavananosa. Maybe he'll wait to bring his karbanos on the last day of Yom Tov. To bring your karbanos on the last day of Yom Tov, you're not supposed to do that because you have to bring your karbanos right away. If we let him cut his hair, let him become tar, so then he might bring his karbanos the last day. Maybe save some money. He'll bring his karbanos on the end of Yom Tov. Kamashma, we still allow him to be matar himself on the Chol Moed, and he'll bring his karbanos then and cut his hair then. Amarava Tashma. So we don't know. Sarua, the Rabbos Kohen Gadol. Sarua is an extra word to tell me that saras even applies, even a Kohen Gadol can get saras. A Kohen Gadol the whole year is like he's always part in Chol Moed. He's always in the regal. What's the proof for it? There's not a Kohen Gadol makriv onim. A Kohen Gadol is allowed to bring a korban when he's an onin. No other person is allowed to bring a korban when you're an onin. When an onin is someone who's bereaved, who's bereaving, someone just died and he hasn't buried him yet. So a lot of halachas don't apply, and one of the halachas is that you're not allowed to bring a korban. Kohen Gadol is allowed to bring a korban when he's an own, and he just can't eat from it. This is a story of Aaron and Moshe got angry at Aaron, but Aaron was really right. Shema mina, noeg sarasa b'regel, shema mina. So you see that he is always the regel, but the saras applies to a Kohen Gadol. So you see saras applies to a Kohen Gadol who's always considered a regel. So therefore saras does apply. Restrictions of saras do apply during the regal. Restrictions of nidoy seemingly do apply during the regal. Why is it the restriction of Nidui and Saras applied in the regular, doesn't apply, doesn't push it away. We'll leave you thinking about that for tomorrow. Bye.